Hello, Jerome. Just starting a new one. I put the video on later on. Too loud. That was your weekend, guys. Hope you're okay down there in USA. It's crazy these days. Wow, thank you, Jeff. Are you following me on Twitter? Because I would love to see some photos of that. 4. Which one did you take? Excellent. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes I can't pick up the names. Sometimes I just need the icon or something like that. Oh yes, you can't have like spaceship buildings without the Evanescent track. I hope it's not too loud. Let me know. I'm looking for that damn Boolean thing there. Where is it? I'm supposed to find a button somewhere there. At the Boolean. What's that thing? Split merge. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I counted the 5. Yeah. Yeah, basically for that one, I wanted something a little more like roundish. So try to figure out how that. Is it making a new one? Oh, okay. Yeah, I tried to create something a little different there, and I needed something like a base, like in ZBrush. Sometimes I do that too. And I'm not a big ZBrush user, so sometimes I just use the basics of that. So I wanted to give it a try with the Brilliance. So far, so good. Is it be really sure. So again, a new space night, and today I'm going to see. I just started just a few like basic shapes there in 3ds Max. Then I'm going to into Boolean to just go back and forth like a bit that elements I did back then, and that for the references. Today I want to do like more like the elements for like the new one, new illustration, and I want to go with like some derelict spaceships, or kind of a spaceship would just go into whatever. Just like the idea is just to get like one I did before, like a spaceship visiting a derelict place. A bit like the one I did before, but I wanted to do like another test at that, you know, like classic thematic like that, you know. So I started a bit on that part already. So that's kind of the base I did in the 3ds Max, cutting through like a few spaceships and just merging them together. So I'm going to see what I'm going to do with that, and it's going to be like kind of a big in the screen. Yeah, I see something like that ish. I don't know. And we're going to have like a smaller spaceship entering the rest of the big. Maybe it could be like I don't know, like a generation ship, something like that. Always the fuss. Fuss is the man. So I just keep on like throwing up on that. So there you go. So that's kind of the big background element. Still don't know how closed or open I'm going to use it. I see. By that I mean like just like in the composition, I just need maybe something, more debris, larger debris around, like more circles. So just like use the whole like image. Yeah, something like that. Small. So I feel like it's easier. It's easy to me for me to just copy paste a few ones, scale up new ones like that. We're going to sculpt this one later on, and now I'm just like concentrating on the little spaceship, little space explorer thing. I'm going to put in the middle of the scene with some even music in the background. What is Z model? I'm so not technical. To export that one. Oh, into ZBrush? No, you don't try that much. I like my technique with kit bashing, but I might pass a check on that because maybe it's worth it. I'm sure it is. Okay, okay. So you call that Z model? I'll check it out. So this is the little spaceship I was working on. Maybe the exhaust. You know what? Let's go with the kind of reverse. The head is going to be there. The exhaust the other way around. So again, I'm going to improvise a bit more, the shapes a bit more. So that's interesting already. So right now, because we are almost like at 6 illustrations since I started that new Space Knight thing, I'm starting to get quite a lot of good elements to reuse, and speeds up my process for sure. Sorry, still got the autosave there. Depends if I'll go from Frisco. Depends really like what use. Are you looking to do like lots of spaceships? Really depend on your objective there. If it's a video game, if it's like a card game, it's for like whatever. No, it's more like the kind of a first thing I would have to ask. It's for video games. So then second question, what kind of platform are you looking for? What kind of game? Is it like a top shooter? The EVE Online style? Is it a Pac-Man? Or is it Assassin's Creed? Because those like it depends really like what's your like use of the spaceships, and then you start to break down. So you want something like real-time spaceships, EVE Online slash looking good spaceships. So there you have to what engine are you going to use? You have any idea? Unity? Yeah. Well, from there, like is so it might be a lot. Where to start? Start with the design and also like kind of a breakdown you like to do for like the your pipeline. Again, it's like depends on what you want to what you're going to need to do for like your spaceships. If you want to, for instance, give the players the possibility to run inside, or if you want your players to have like, the possibility to design them, customize them, or they are just like plain meshes, and then you're going to do a bunch of them. What was that one? I really liked the one with the kind of a space cowboy kind of a shooter one. They did like whatever galaxy again. Can't remember that one. It was a good one. Very good spaceships. If they are just meshes, you can just use Blender. You can just use 3ds Max. You can just use whatever like ZBrush, and you need like someone who knows how to just optimize your work. Basically, you need a bit of a process for sure. See, for me, for instance, I'm just I love thinking about my design as a like when I do my spaceships, I try to have them like having like a different coming from different kind of classes. For that, you need an artist then. Just like if you have an account on Unity, you have like that area where you have people just asking for help, artists looking for work, and vice versa. It could be like a pretty handful. I know I'm not going to give you my ships. I'll keep those. Having too fun with those. Too much fun. Actually, yeah, there's like plenty of artists who just, but you need to pay them. That's the issue there. Yeah. So you have like fashion design and stuff. A lot of advice, just like give some freedom to your artists so they can just like come with like some good suggestions for like your factions. You never know. But that's a quite big challenging project you have there. You ever like made other video games before this one? Or like so many projects. Hello, Vicenza. Yeah, you bet. Oh, you already have like but is it your first game? Just asking. Wow. Saving again. Damn it. I need to remove a few meshes in that scene. It's taking too long. It's going to be faster after that. So the idea is to do like again something like that. I really like those kind of derelict spaceships thing. It's like a very classic science fiction. And thanks for all the guys who just bought my posters because it went well. That was the last one. Starting to have a nice collection. Like I said, I just need to do like 10 times that amount of illustrations to get to my own objective and create a book. There we go again. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Sorry. Sometimes I get stuck with my PS Max. I have to quit. Sorry. Single player. Okay, Scorpion is not too crazy. Yeah, because you scare me when we're saying like EVE Online. So yeah, a solo game should like don't go over crazy because just when you're starting with a small game, it's big, you know, already. Just to make it like up to till the end where you can just like publish it. You're going to publish it on Steam, I guess, or something like that. So yeah, go with like very simple like experience and try to make it through. And then if you're happy with that, you do like a 2.0 to a 3.0, whatever. But start small, really small, super small. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, okay, cool. Just nice need to have like a nice like game loop, you know, like something that just like keeps the players having why again. How come that I get my like game see I can't access those buttons there, and Windows is just like somehow like stopping me from do that. Oh well. Anybody knows the shortcut in 3ds Max to window that? Would like to switch it into like a window. That would help. I can manage without, but it's more like a pain. Because I don't have access to my like little things there. For whatever reason. Nope. That doesn't. That's the thing. Come on. Oh well, I do without that. You hear me like swearing a little more tonight. Okay, so that's done. I don't use that much like of a shortcut, so I like that kind of a shape there. That's cool. I like to go crazy on the number of cursors. So like cursor like that. I'm just building up the whole ship. Kinda know where I want to go. And we are going to see, I think, just the back of the ship. Designing those ships gets easier and easier in a way. Right now, I'm just using the same recipes, and the more I'm going to go into that book, the more I'm going to add like a new recipes. But right now, keep on like just like finding new ways of doing that. Those designs. Hey, I think there is someone missing there. There you go. Hey guys. I just realized I was off. Hello there. So did you guys saw the new the launch yesterday? That was pretty awesome. I mean Saturday. Saturday was that was the launch. It was like quite something. Not big fan of the look of their spacesuits, but you know, that's just me. They looked way too bland. I think it was just like precious suits, anyways. Yeah, among other things. Yeah, the way it's just like the whole general kind of vibe. It looked a bit meh. Hello, Mr. Dragon. Thanks for joining. I keep on having guys saying like, "Well, you were around." Yeah, I've been around for like almost 1 month now. and around like on Twitch, because around on the on internet for a little more, just a little. Feel like I'm going to go with some kind of a like submarine spaceship. I use those FFDs a lot too. Really liking those. Always been using them like since ages. It's easy to go from like primitives like capsules, spheres and stuff like that, and start to get like a very interesting like shape in no time. Yeah, look at that, starting to look good. It has kind of like those deep dive submarine vibe to it. And just before that, I didn't know I wanted to go there. But sometimes you have a little voice says that, yeah, that's why you want to go in design. So you're like, okay, cool, cool. Yeah, little voice, let's go there. Learn to not fight against that. If I try to fight against like some like kind of instincts, so it's a bit loud. That goes me nowhere. And same thing for my colors. I'm not the one in control there. They are the ones saying like, yep, no, it's going to be blue, Pascal, or it's going to be yellow. I'm like, okay, guys. Hey, hello, Zitropa. You're watching so hard. Well, that is 3ds Max. 3ds Max, my good old friends, 3ds Max. Working with 3ds Max for as long as I've been doing like a 3D. But it's not true. I did like some of 3D on Amiga before that. But I work on 3ds Max since the first 3ds Max was out, and before that I was working on 3D Studio. It was on DOS. Oh yeah, old buddies. And the fact that I'm still using the edit mesh and the mouse and many other old school stuff. Hello, bonjour. Angel Studios. So you're on. Bonjour, bonjour. Il y a beaucoup de Français dans le coin. Ça va très bien. I should do like make some nights just in French. Sorry guys, but yeah, French speaking. Et j'arrive à l'air beaucoup plus intelligent quand je parle. Non, c'est pas un accent québécois, c'est plus un accent des cousins. Là, je suis au Québec depuis 20 ans, donc. Et j'arrive pas à faire l'accent québécois. J'oserais pas. I really like this bathyscaphe kind of a look. Let's have some references there. How do you pronounce that? Bathyscaphe, that's it. Yeah, I like those shapes, that's cool. The ones in Cameron in the Abyss were quite amazing. Almost like spaceships, you know. Remember the Abyss? I still watch this one. It's like yeah, those quite cool little like bathyscaphs from designs from Run Cub. Look at that, you have even the colors. Oh, we're going to keep that. So yeah, like sometimes it's always good to just, even if you go with something like spaceships, to just always insert inside your design something that is not from like a spaceship, like a submarine life or anything that submarine technology is kind of a easy one. You guys ever heard of Run Cub? Shinkai? Yeah, those super excellent. Yeah, totally. There are a bunch of them like that. Yeah, thanks for the link. That's a great one actually. Into this further. Run Cub. Run Cub. See, I'm sure you guys are like, if I say side mid, for instance, you all know what side mid is as a designer, but I like to remind my audience and design lovers like me, sometimes like the good old giants and sometimes some giants are like very like silent, and Run Cub is one of those. Because yeah, maybe you know him, but not many of them knows Run Cub, because he's always been like around, and anything that is basically 80s action movies, space science fiction movies, he worked on it. So if you want to be amazed, he has even like a website, and he's like very up to like he did those cartoons back in the 60s, and my god, like the recent days are totally like it's like a story repeats itself, so it's quite interesting. But no politics. But movies, like Run Cub started. I'm just going to have a little like story about that guy. Yeah, it's even more than that. He's more like he comes from also like a very good. He worked at Walt Disney Studio in the '56, and at this time of the, you have to know that to enter like in Disney Studios, you have to be like a hell of an artist. They just took that the top of the top of the top of the top. Like not many artists could just make it like to Disney Studios that back then. And then he started to do like some concepts for certain the Dark Soul, like by Dan O'Bannon. Dan O'Bannon is the one who just made the script for Star Beast. That was the code name for Alien. So that's a long story, and they both worked on Dune, the first one. Jodorowsky Dune. He just did a few ones, but not too much. But that's quite good to know that, because we're going to have like our Dune thing very soon. He then worked on Star Wars. Yes, he even worked on Star Wars. Did like a few like monsters for the Cantina. I know. I was late to the garden. J'ai torta. And look at this. He designed those kind of hammerhead aliens that became very iconic in the world of Star Wars. And he designed this one too, but they never made it because of the practicality of that and how to design it. But I loved it. I think they reuse it somewhere later on. And then of course he designed anything that was like human design for like for Alien. So it's very interesting because he started also like to do the design of the monsters, but after that they had a good call of having like Giger just jumping in. It was cool, but and by the way, that's another interesting thing, like to Alien. Yeah, he knows Mobius, and he has this classical like drawing thing going on that is very like 80s and Mobius like, totally. And he knows to draw like crazy. Look at that, it's super good, that ass. Yeah, but those colors there and those colors there, I think one of the reference, unknown reference of Alien was Planet of the Vampire. I think it was like in 60s they did that one. And if you watch the trailer of the Planet of the Vampires, you'll see like stuff like that. Like they find a huge skeleton of an alien, a dead alien, after following a signal on a planet. And they come back with a kind of a disease, and they all turn to like vampires, demons, whatever, and really looks like Prometheus. Even the costumes are very close to that in many ways. Those designs there were quite, I'm sure, with the colors, like they had that in the back of their mind when they were doing. Look at that, those colors, and those orange and blues and stuff like that is totally into what we have like in Run Cubs. So I'm sure it was like a reference by then. I like to chase references. Yeah, that thing there is crazy. Anyways, so he worked. I knew that he worked on Alien for a long time because he did those cinematic standards that still like are so inspiring. And then you'll be surprised to see what he worked on too. It's like he worked on the first Indiana Jones too. He did like this big design for the ship, which is cool. He worked on Close Encounter. This one is a bit like Sid Mead, yeah. And then Conan. Yeah, he worked on Conan. So he worked on like two of my favorites movies, you know, Alien and Conan. He did like props, design, drawings, you name it, everything was there. He just like did like so many things on the sets too, and even did like a cameo. That was him. The guy was just like sells like a Black Lotus at the market. And then he worked on like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's very like cool, like 80s look vibe that I love. Tubings and all those round and bevel shapes. What else he did? He does like it's crazy. Oh yeah, or just, you know, like DeLorean. That's him. That's his design. Or they just shaped it into like a time machine. That's crazy. What else? Oh well, it continued with Aliens. So again, like the dropship and the tank was his designs. You know. Just that, like all the 80s design. That's him basically. Mars One, Leviathan, The Abyss. Just like talked about. That's crazy because he just kept on drawing and on drawing, which did the high pressure suit system in the end. Total Recall too. That's him. So it's just like it's non-stop craziness when you check his website. Space Truckers and Firefly, of course. So yeah, that's it. So I'm just going to give you the link to that because it's one to follow. Yeah, it's basically everything. He did everything, and it's like also like he has like a very cool style for like space. He like what's that? There's more again. That's crazy. There's a lot of concepts, design vehicles, ground vehicles, stuff like that, and it's always like classic stuff. You know, like it's just like. His artworks, he like a few like space landmarks like that, like totally great. Sure, I love this one. I wish I could have like a better resolution of that one. He did a few like exoskeletons and exoplanets, and see that could be like totally like be like when I just could pick up just for like a reference for the composition. Just like that. So it's cool when you see something. Look at that, that's a super nice idea. Just like the whole base is upside down. That's crazy. That's a super cool idea. These paintings are amazing, and that one was for like Alien, I think. Yeah, he's like a total traditional artist and just one unique artist. So he's still around, kicking. But I know someone who knows him says that he's been downhill like for a while. So yeah, how old is he now? Yeah, 83. But he's like a very classic, and see like references with him is just like Simid and big ones, you know, like He's been around for a while, and I think he didn't work on Star Wars for like a few reasons, and he didn't move. I don't know. It's like, yeah, back to the Alien. That one is crazy. Yeah, he did like kind of a, as the lifeboat where like Ripley just escapes. He did like that one with more like integrated, more like functional. Like it's just like with the door that opens and the spaceship is in there, and then he just release it. That would have been like a hell of a shot too, and then just like flies out and just leaving stuff behind. That's super cool. And then it came that with that the design of that the last one. Anyways, and that's him and O'Bannon. Anyways, oh, and that tomb too. Look at that. That's crazy. Okay, back to work. Okay, back to work. So see, whatever. It's always like it's always good to just take a deep breath and see what's been done around. And it's always like some masters to just to look up to, just challenging. Cool. But then skip that. Narcissus, yes. It is the Narcissus. That shot we saw like on Scott website. Okay. So we are now in June, meaning that we are going to get our first glimpse at Dune very soon. Should be around like I think upcoming weeks, maybe this week. That would be nice. I didn't see like any hint of that. Maybe you guys did, but right now I'm still like just waiting. Can't wait. Really can't wait. Still, they have to just like sort out the whole like coronavirus, COVID kind of aspect of the like the business right now. And I don't know what they're going to come up with. They're going to have to find a solution, right? Like there's no way they're going to get their like numbers back for a few years. I don't know how they're going to sort that out. I think yes and no. I think I agree with you to a certain extent. I think it's going. That's why they're going anyways. That's first. The story of Paul is going to be like a big movie, like a big budget, and just create the recreate the fan base because they already have a good fan base with the books, I think. And then from there they're going to go into series. Yeah, I would love to see a Emperor God of Dune, of course. It's like that would something to see, and also like the rest of the whole stories. Like the the Mother House, and the last one each. I don't know. And those are like they all come together like into one big story. So I think there is a plan for that for the series for sure. Yes, there is a series for the discussion of the series for the sister chapter house. That's what I get. But the rest is going to be the movies. I don't know. They should do that again. Like they did the series was not too bad with the Children of Dune. It was okay. And also like there is the whole vision of Deneuve on Dune. I just can't wait to see how he's going to approach it because I think he got a bit of sense of what the story was about. Like and how like there's this whole idea of destiny and stuff like Paul was not supposed to become like the what he was supposed to be, and all he just was scared to become that. I think I heard that it was like also like pretty violent, like which is good, like need that, or like to just like have the Harkonnen we deserves. So I just extended that arm so we get the feel that the spaceship is bigger than those. So I think I'm starting to get the good shape for that new spaceship. That's cool. Just adding a few details, even if I don't think we're going to see it from that angle, but you never know. Thanks, Big Boss. Big Boss Pizza Sauce. Nice one. Thanks a lot. Welcome. So that's cool there. Of my flaps. Again, those flaps really like just make the kind of a silhouette pops out a bit more, so to speak. I like using those because it helps with the just to give like some more like dynamic shapes to the design. So I think I need more like vents in the front, because if it's like a spaceship that get close with like debris and stuff like that, certainly definitely needs some structures and to just be able to just move around easily. So let's give them that. Also sailing, good one. Foundations, you mean like anything that comes before like the story of Paul? Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be nice. I'm not sure though. It's like it's quite well, it's slow. Yeah, I really like those ones. Just I read them like a long time, but yeah, enjoyed it. Well, you have it's the same thing in Dune, you know. No spoilers, but yeah, it spreads like on a fair amount of time. Okay, that's good. There, say that, but not like totally there, but it's going to like that. Seeing that in like situation. Okay. I say that's cool. Let's add a few more things like that there. Too much. saving. And after that, I'm going just to go into ZBrush and start to do the final sculpt, and that will be it's going to be like a very small one today. I'm going to paint that tomorrow. And after this one, I think I'm going to do like more like one with a character. It's been a while. It's going to be like still a spaceship, but I want the character to be the central piece. It's good to have like sometimes like I think in the universe I want to build up to see a few faces too. Okay, that's cool. Saving again. We're going to export it into like the brush. And this one, but yeah, we'll see like the big there. It's could be like a really like huge generational ship who just didn't made it. So I had like a few rocks too, just to give like the idea of how it just disappeared. Crashed into like a few meteors, whatsoever. So we see with that. Hello, Didi's Ghost. Thanks for joining. Trying to see if just had this idea to just have that there. Not sure I like it. maybe a more like simple version of that. Let's see. We disappear. That too. Hello, Jack Mita. Thanks for joining. Okay, let's go with that. Easy enough for me. And let's go. Okay, let's go with that. Save again. No, it's 3ds Max. And yes, you should totally learn Blender at some point because the industry is slowly but surely switching to Blender. We all have like I'm working at behavior, and my artists are working with Blender 3ds Max, but more like Maya and Blender. Yeah. Hope they don't change it too much, but yeah. And I need another brain to learn how to use it. Just two old school guys, so I just stick with that for now. So my workflow is more 3ds Max, then the brush. You're welcome. And if you check in my summary below, you'll see like a few comments if you want to see tools I use, extra. Thanks, ZD Ghost. Well, most of the companies who are working with Maya have like like special licenses, like for like group licenses and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a big investment, but Maya is still very good for animation, so that's why we still have Maya in production, mostly for the animation. But now most of the models are done in ZBrush / Maya / more and more Blender for hard surface. Also, you need a bit of to know about substance. You need also, if you can just do like more like a soft body and marvelous designer, that helps too, because if you go in industry, AAA games and all, they all use like that too. And even if you are starting to you want to become like a concept artist, we use more and more like 3D packages in the concept phase, concept art. But mostly still Photoshop and more photo bashing for those who are interested to know how the industry is evolving. It's more and more photo bashing on top of 3D elements or like photos basically. It doesn't mean you don't need to draw anymore, but it's faster this way. I use like plenty of different techniques when I do concepts. So I wanted to, for instance, this is like an object I did in the LS Max, copy paste a few elements I created. So I created those things there, just like slowly, just doing copy, paste, blend, paint, extra. This is a part of a key bash I just destroyed, basically. And then from there, I'm just going to continue. Moving topology is quite cool because it just isolates. It uses groups. So with the groups, you can just move things around very easily using the move topologize. It's a good one. Oh no, this one is like it's part of my it's all my personal stuff. I'm art director like by daylight, so by night I like to do my own stuff for my own sanity. I love my job, but I like doing my stuff too, so sometimes it's cool to just like do the things that you love and without having to just answer to like any kind of restrictions. It's just, it helps the mind. And again, love my job. That is very different kind of a process. So it's almost like meditation to me, especially with the music of Ivana in the back. And I've always been doing that, like working by daylight, working on in the game industry, and by night doing freelance or like personal stuff. Always. Almost working, I would say, 9 to 10 hours a day between my work and my personal stuff. Yeah, exactly. And it just allows me to just like do the things I like, and it just helps me like when I'm back to work, focus on what's important, and just like unplug my mind from the work issues. And when I come back to that in the morning, I want like a fresh mind, so it just helps my work also. It's my video games. Come on now. Yeah, I think it's like part of what helps me like be just like still going to work with a smile and just like still loving my work after all these years, despite the fact that a few of the projects I worked on just passed away. It happens more than you think. It's part of the job, really. Oh, come on. Seriously. Bonjour Emmanuel. I have like tons of you what do you mean by the killer references? Yeah. I mean as from my experience, yeah. I've got a few ones. I've been around for like quite a while now. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I'm trying just to create like a big mass of chunk around, and the spaceship is going to enter that. So I want to have the whole like illustration more like because the objective to create an illustration in the end. We're like surrounded by lots of debris floating about. Just like that. That. Oh, let's see, that's new little spaceship I made. Boarding ship. I'm just going to just try it to see how it works, and it's a bit late. I'm going to stop there. But it's just to show you that the process I do from there is just like basically let's go. To do a big animation on that, and then I start sketching a bit more on top of that. The whole thing is just to try to get the best of the Dynamesh without having the mesh to explode or the brush to crash on me. So it's better now. And again, what I do is after that I can just paint, sculpt, because right now it's just a bunch of polygons where like no resolution at all, so nothing you can do in the ZBrush from there. Let's try to push that. Yeah, I don't think it's going to survive that one. I just went over like 1k. Oh, it did survive. Cool. Thank you, ZBrush. Kind to say that one. And from there, I can just smooth. To get rid of a bit of that, I'm going to use the smooth peaks. This is going to keep the edges. Remove a bit of that. And then I can start, but we have the smooth stronger, which is quite cool because this one just flattens way more. This one is not by default in ZBrush, but you can find it in its files. It's very strong. Okay, not bad. And from there, I'm just going to add a few brushes, standard some alphas. Like alphas is quite because my work is still like an illustration. I don't need to do go like super picky and just do like a crazy detailed spaceship. So I just kind of do like an impression of something that is detailed but is not. That's my way of working, especially when I'm doing my spaceships. Let's add some vents. Just a dry rectangle gear do the job. Okay, that's good. Oh, Ron just subbed. Thank you very much. Thanks again, BHings. And then I'm going to add a few, the basic brushes you can find in the brush. They do the job, especially that one has like tons of cool little things there. Like handles, for instance, so it's very good to just give like a sense of scale of your objects, There you go. What else? There are vents somewhere. Thanks, you for following. Bit late. I'm going to call it a night very soon. And I'll continue tomorrow. Well, that's where the fun begins, when you start to add like all those little shapes that just gives the like life to the model. You don't need too much, it's just a few. And then the painting and all those little details are going to just give like more life to the spaceship. But that's quite cool right now. It's working well already. Yeah, no, I just like to do like a come from like big shapes and then add like more details. Find it like it's interesting what you say, because it took me a while to just come up with that exactly like that kind of philosophy. To understand that that was more like my way of doing things. Cables, space ship cables with those. I'm going to leave it like that for now, and come back tomorrow with. I'll show you how I do the bench job basically, and after that, I have a new nice illustration. So thanks, bye bye guys. It's late. I'm just sleepy. See you tomorrow. Bye.